Welcome to Buzzed and Baffled, the podcast where the wine is flowing, the stories get weird, and we try our best to keep the chaos to a minimum. Try being the keyword.
Before we jump in, a quick behind-the-scenes truth. Producing the show is basically an Olympic sport. Between being the media manager, the sound engineer, the editor, and trying to control her own voice volume, which, let's be honest, Nicole's has the natural power of a small megaphone, things can get a little unpredictable. So if you hear the occasional mic spike, just know it's not your headphones. It's Nicole living her best and loudest life.
Disclaimer, we're not experts. Just two curious humans with wine in hand and an enthusiasm for the bizarre. Some topics may be dark, sensitive, or downright strange, so listener discretion is advised. And remember, everything you hear is for entertainment only, so take the story seriously, just not too seriously.
And any opinions shared on this podcast are our own and not reflective of any third party.
Now, pour a glass, settle in, and get ready to be buzzed and baffled.
We're back.
After a hiatus,
Yep, we had some staff illness last week, so
I apologize for my weak constitution.
we were unexpectedly off air.
Yeah. Things
That's okay.
were not as they should be.
Nicole's better now.
Well,
Well, I mean,
it's been a rough couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's been very stressful.
and I wasn't like, hey, bitch, I know you're puking right now, but put up the backup episode. God.
I'm 100% like, I bet you she's wondering if I'm going to put up the backup episode, and I'm not.
I was wondering, but I was not going to ask you to do it or say anything if you didn't.
So you're like, I know better.
Yep.
I might have just come down here and just like puked in your kitchen and then you like walked away.
I would have deserved it.
Right after you deep cleaned too.
Yep. But we just pushed everything to this week,
Yep,
which worked out.
It works out.
It gave all of our fans a week to catch up.
And we'll be off for the next 2 weeks. So we have the
Correct.
backup episode
Mhm.
and we're going to record a second one tonight.
Yes, so don't worry. You're going to get a 4th of July, well, not a 4th of July themed episode, unless it is. I don't know. It's your...
No, it's not.
Okay, and then, so you will have the next 2 weeks, even though 4th of July.
I could put a spin on it and make it 4th of July.
Okay.
Just let me think about it. Is it like before we start recording? And it'll be my spin on what I think the 4th of July should be.
But we're back, and this is episode 61.
Woohoo!
And,
Just imagine how thin your skin's going to be when you're 61.
oh my God, shut the hell up. I helped you today, and you're just ripping on me.
She did. She helped me change my cabin air filter.
And why did I have to do it?
because I don't know how.
Because it breaks your nails.
Well, it does break my nails. And I can get the drawer out, but I can't get the drawer back in.
That's okay. It took like 5 seconds, except for the side quest back to AutoZone.
But that wasn't her
It
fault.
wasn't my fault.
It was the old man at AutoZone.
The one old man telling the other old man the wrong information.
Uh-huh.
And the second old man was very perturbed when we came back. Not at me, but
It was very comical.
yeah. I was like, dude, it's no big deal. It's not the end of the world. So this is, before I get in the story, I want to just introduce it. Don't fucking spray me.
I was like, ooh.
We're heading to the northern border of Idaho.
It's almost Canada.
Almost
so
Canada.
close.
It's, yeah, like 30 miles from the Canadian border. And
The people on the board look a little rustic.
yeah, well, you're going to find out. But this is about Ruby Ridge.
Hmm.
And the reason I wanted to just say that first is there's no Ruby Ridge wine, but I did find Shannon Ridge.
Okay. Now, is Ruby Ridge a person or
It's a place.
Okay. So, Shannon Ridge, a high elevation collective, a petite Syrah made with organic grapes. So we're healthy tonight.
Mhm.
At elevations peaking 2,300 feet, our organically farmed vineyards produce distinctive mountain fruit. Volcanic soils increase intense sun exposure, and temperature variations result in complex, balanced, and full-bodied wines. I notice this isn't from 1994 like
No.
mine. It's from 2023. So this is a petite Syrah from Lake County. I don't know.
I believe it's from Oregon,
Okay.
which is also nearby Idaho. So
Overlooking Cedar Lake and majestic Mount Cano- Canoti? Canochi?
I don't know.
Yeah. Our organically farmed vineyards offer distinctive mountain fruit with both intensity and elegance. This full-bodied Petite Syrah has rich and bold tannins with aromas of blackberry jam and strawberries, balanced with flavors of vanilla, dark chocolate, and tobacco. These are big promises.
Mm-hmm. It looked intriguing. I just picked it up when I was at Econo earlier, unexpectedly. I did have a different wine picked,
Yeah.
just a red wine that was not as themed, but I saw that and I was like, ooh, we should do that.
I'm trying to cut the foil without cutting my hand.
I always just rip a strip through the top.
Oh, okay. You can do that. Like that?
Yep.
I'm gonna do it. And stab myself in the leg. It's
Slice
like,
your leg. Like my finger.
yeah. Okay.
So that was a bonus find this afternoon. And we can thank David for that because by the time I was leaving Walmart, he's like, you probably already left, but if you could get me beer. And I said, I'll stop at Econo. And that's what happened.
She got to go shopping without David, so it was a
Yeah.
quick experience.
yeah. And we had semi-themed dinner, which means this pod is probably not going to save correctly because I have themed wine and themed dinner.
Yeah, so it's going to immediately erase or freeze.
We had loaded baked potatoes and salad.
It was good, and that was my idea because she's
It
like,
was.
"Do you want pork cutlets?" I was like, "Absolutely
Pork
not."
chops. Nicole thinks all pork is ham.
Well, it comes from ham.
No, it doesn't. It comes from pork.
All pork is ham, and all pork chops should be in gravy.
All ham is pork, but not all pork is ham.
Well, I don't like ham or pork really. I only like pork chops.
Yeah, so
but only
I was just
in
gonna
gravy.
She told me she loves pork chops, and I was just gonna grill some pork chops. And she's like, "Are you gonna cook it, bake it in gravy?" I said, "No, I didn't know that was part of the deal." So we settled on baked potatoes instead, which was fine.
No, it's very much like if it's not baked in gravy for 6 hours, I don't want it.
You'd have been so mad.
I would have been like, "What the fuck is this?"
Just perfectly grilled pork chops with diamond marks on them.
I'm like, "Where's the gravy?" You could have just like pulled a can of gravy and just like popped it open and just like.
I don't even
set it
have a can of gravy. I would have been having to I don't know. Oh, you know what? I still have frozen turkey gravy from Thanksgiving.
That would have been good. I make a good turkey gravy. I would have been mad about that.
Okay.
Hold on, you got to taste the wine.
I know. That's why I said okay. Do we do that? Oh, we don't do that first. Never mind. We clinked. See, we had a week off. Everything is backwards. I'm starting early. We're clinking.
We forgot how to run the pot.
Yeah. Oh, it's a little dry on the front.
It is. And it's like just the slightest bit smoky.
Mm-hmm. It's really good. It does have the depth of flavor it talked about.
It's not like as berry forward as I hoped it would be.
I do get a lot of dark chocolate.
It's darker and less bright.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like
it's not jammy.
No.
I know they said blackberry jam, but this is no Cali Red.
No, it's not. Like, I don't know if I would like this with steak, but like the fattiness of a steak might be good with it.
I think if you had a really fatty, salty prime rib.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, but also I think like this would go really good with like chocolate mousse cake or like something that's sweet and like fatty.
Hear me out. Lava cake.
Ooh, that would be really good with lava cake. David, order us lava cake.
Those lava cakes from Domino's are bussin'.
Uh-huh. We could have had lava cakes. Now we just have circus cookies for later.
Circus cookies, animal crackers. Circus cookies.
Well, because I always buy the brand, the circus brand.
I know. When you were little in this life, you remember the boxes that had the things and the string on top?
Yeah. Because it looked like the cage that you kept the animal in back when I remember.
And didn't like the front peel down and you could, it kind of looked like
and you could like take the animals out and like bite their heads off.
Yeah. How terrible. I'm going to start this pod now. Okay. ChatGPT has entitled this, How Not to Serve a Warrant, the Ruby Ridge Siege.
Oh, well, and for our dear readers who can't see the board, you'll have to look at the picture I'll post. There's some very unsavory characters on the board,
Mhm.
and one of these does not look like the other.
Nicole's being a racist.
Or maybe it's
No, there
Kyla's story. Maybe Kyla's being
I'm
racist.
not. No, there's I knew it as soon as she walked in, she was gonna be like, "Oh, what are we talking about tonight?" Because it's a mishmash of people up there.
I'm also surprised you didn't add in that I refuse to take a Cliffs because she's not white.
Oh yeah. I know.
I'm not racist and I don't hate people of minorities and only like white people.
How does it feel, Nicole?
I knew you eventually you'd get a trope for me and that it just took you a while to like hone in on one.
Beginning in 1978, Vicki Weaver, the matriarch and essentially de facto religious leader, not in a cult or preacher way, but she made the decisions of how the family worshipped, things like that.
Okay, so like this is the church we're attending and this
Yes.
is when we're going, not everyone pay me a tithe
Exactly.
because
Yeah.
I'm talking to God.
hmm Um, religious leader, decision maker of the Weaver family, started to have dreams about living on a mountaintop, and like literal dreams, not daydreaming, like sleeping dreams.
I was gonna say like hallucination.
Yeah, well, yeah, sleep hallucinations
Uh-huh.
about living on a mountaintop and an impending apocalypse.
Before I'd be like, well, maybe it was a past life or something. But nope, you lost me at apocalypse. Because the book of Revelations wasn't in the original Bible. I did not put it there.
I know. You're like, I wrote that. Like, I didn't add that in. A few years later, after the birth of their son, she and her husband Randy Weaver, a factory worker and former U.S. Army soldier, moved their 4 children from Iowa to northern Idaho, about 30 miles from the Canadian border, to live off the grid.
Living off the grid is always a bad start.
Yeah. Dreams of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
You know we're going somewhere weird.
Well, based on Randy's attire and jewelry choices in this picture, I'm guessing it doesn't go well for him considering
She's describing the mug shot that's up on the board.
he's got a name plaque and some
Yep.
number.
In preparation for the move, the Weavers sold all their belongings and temporarily lived with an Amish community to learn how to survive without electricity and to live off the land.
Okay, that's
which actually is really smart.
That's actually very smart, and that's a lot smarter than some stories you see in like TLC.
Mhm.
Or like those families who tried to go be
Mhm.
pioneers. And like the 2 white families got the fully fledged cabin,
Yeah.
and the African American family got the one that had like 3 walls. It's like, hey now.
Yeah, I think they took that show off of HBO because I don't think we finished it and I haven't seen it on there.
I mean, they should have because that was
Yeah,
problematic.
In Idaho, they bought a 20-acre plot of land and built a cabin where Randy would, quote, homeschool his children and escape what he and his wife Vicki saw as a corrupted world, end quote.
I'm willing to bet this was a grade A education, like getting into Harvard worthy.
Mhm. About a year after the move, Randy Weaver had a dispute with his neighbor, Terry Kinnison, over a land purchase. Terry's not up there. Terry's story adjacent, but it kind of starts the history of everything. The case went to court, and Kinnison was ordered to pay the Weavers the $3,000 for the land deal plus $2,100 in costs and damages. And we're 1980, something like that. That's
Yeah.
kind of a lot of money.
Yeah. Especially if you live off the land, because that means you don't have an income.
Mhm. Kinnison went on to write several letters to various government agencies, including the FBI, that Randy Weaver was planning to kill Ronald Reagan and Pope John Paul II.
I can shorten that post edit.
Okay, you're going to fix it in post?
Yep.
In early 1985, the FBI, Secret Service, and the Boundary County Sheriff's Office, that's the county they live in, opened an
It's called Boundary County.
Yep.
Okay.
Opened an investigation into the Weavers for the alleged threats against the public figures. And these are threats that a jilted neighbor says they made.
Well, and I'm willing to bet you have to remember the 80s was, pre-internet, so I bet you they didn't get a lot of people saying someone's planning to do this because you don't see them doing it with other people online.
Right. The Secret Service was also notified that Randy Weaver was a member of the Aryan Nations and had a huge collection of weapons.
Did he? Was he?
We'll get to it.
Okay.
You're going to find out.
I mean, he has a look about him.
Uh-huh.
He's got like
He's very Johnny Cash in that picture.
I was gonna say like Crybaby if he
Yeah.
had a really rough motorcycle ride.
No charges were ever filed, and Weaver denied being a member of the Aryan Nations, but there was evidence that he and his family attended a few meetings at a nearby compound for white separatists and government resistors.
It's never good if you're going to a compound.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't like where this is going. Looks like Lon's gonna have a hard go of it.
Investigators determined the Weavers were tied to Frank Kumik, a known associate of the Aryan Nations. Weaver denied that they and Kumik were members of the white supremacist group, but did acknowledge that Kumik was part of a survivalist and anti-government Christian militia group called the Covenant, the Sword, and the Arm of the Lord.
Okay. Was he like, are they called like the High Dragon or something like that in the KKK?
The Grand High Wizard.
Okay. Was he the Grand
I
High
knew that
Wizard?
way too fast. I know that because of news, not because of other reasons.
Uh-huh. Was he also a eugenicist?
Oh, I'm sure they were.
I mean, by nature, if they're part of the KKK, they're
Yeah.
eugenicists. That's why you wanted to do this story.
That's why I was so bummed when you were sick last week. A few weeks after the government began investigating the Weavers, they filed an affidavit. The Weavers filed an affidavit at the county courthouse saying their enemies, were plotting to provoke the FBI into attacking and killing their family. We have a lot of he said, she said, and
the local
loose associations with various anti-government
the local
groups.
Police department must hate to see these people.
Oh,
coming.
you know that, yeah.
Jail Dale would be like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because you know there's like 3 deputies
Uh-huh.
in this tiny little town. In May of 1985, the Weavers also sent a letter to Ronald Reagan claiming their enemies might send threatening correspondence to him with forged signatures of the Weaver family.
Maybe just leave Ronald Reagan out of it. If they already think you're after him, maybe don't write him letters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it sounds like they're trying to get ahead of what they feel their enemies might do to them.
They're handling their PR wrong, though.
Yes, they're spinning in the wrong direction.
Like, you need to ignore and deny if someone asks, but otherwise don't pay it attention because that just feeds the fuel of the fire.
Despite denying association with the Aryan Nations, Randy Weaver attended the World Aryan Congress, where he was introduced by Frank Kumik to a weapons dealer who was actually an ATF informant.
Gotcha!
The informant and Weaver met several times over the next few years, and in 1989, the informant was invited to the Weaver home to discuss the creation of an organization to fight the, quote, Zionist occupation government.
Gotta be like one of the worst undercover assignments.
Yeah. You gotta go hang out with lunatics.
In like buttfuck Idaho.
Yeah.
And you're just like living off the grid in a tent, I'm assuming.
Yeah. The Zionist occupation government is a term used by anti-Semites who believe a conspiracy theory that Jews secretly control the entire government.
Okay.
You can kind of get a feel for the people we're dealing with here.
Yeah, I took a look at them and it's like, I think I have a feel for the people we're dealing with. There's a lot of strongly pronounced mustaches up there.
A few months later, the informant told the ATF that Randy Weaver sold him 2 illegal sawed-off shotguns.
Now, were they illegal because they were selling them to him, or were they illegal because they were sawed off?
Because they were sawed off.
Okay.
The ATF later tried to use the illegal firearm sales against Weaver as leverage to have him become an informant for their investigation into the Aryan Nations.
Well, and that's how you get them, right? Like on a small charge. Also, just buy a shotgun and saw it off yourself. Like, it can't be that hard.
Well, it's not. Well, I mean, I don't know. But
get a pipe cutter.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why he felt the need. Well, because he's an informant and he was setting him up. But yeah, just make your own if you must.
Yeah. That's Kyla's advice.
Weaver refused, of course, because he's anti-government.
And he's an upstanding gentleman.
Uh-huh.
Snitches get stitches.
So the ATF filed charges against him in June of 1990.
And that is what I'm assuming we're looking at in this photo.
Nope.
Oh, okay. He goes big and goes home.
Yeah, you could say that. They also alleged that he was a bank robber with other criminal convictions. He was not a bank robber.
He doesn't look smart enough to be a bank robber.
In December of that year, a grand jury indicted Randy Weaver on making and possessing illegal weapons, but they did not indict him on the charge of selling because that was like an entrapment thing.
Yeah, and that's fair.
Mm-hmm. By now, the ATF felt it would be too dangerous to arrest Weaver at his home, so in January of 1991, they posed as stranded motorists and made the arrest when Randy and Vicky stopped to help.
How did they know they would stop?
They just assumed.
Wouldn't it be weird if, like, every day for a week they see a stranded motorist right outside their driveway?
Randy was arrested, charged with a federal offense, released on bail, and was told that his trial would begin on, this is important, February 19th, 1991.
Okay.
He was also given instructions to contact Carl Richens, a probation officer, in regards to his case and how it was going to progress through the court.
Okay.
Weaver called Richens as instructed, but Richens said he did not yet have the case file. So I don't have it yet. Leave me your information and we'll connect later.
Yeah. Like as soon as I have your
Mhm.
case, then I'll call you.
Yeah. According to Richens, Weaver did not leave a phone number for himself.
Well, that's his fault for not getting a phone number.
Yeah, exactly.
Step 1 of case management, know the contact info.
In the interim, Weaver had a court-appointed attorney, Everett Hoffmeister, assigned to him.
Okay.
Hoffmeister sent Weaver 3 letters over the next few weeks requesting to meet with him regarding his defense, but got no response. On February 5th, the court date was changed from February 19th to the 20th to allow more time to for lawyers and judges and everything to travel after, because it was President's Day.
Okay.
And I'm sure in that tiny town, it's like the judge comes like, Brittany going to America. It's like once a week.
Like things are like you're coming from far away.
Mm-hmm. The court clerk did not send a notice directly to Weaver, though, only to his attorney.
You can't do that. Then it's not an official court date if you didn't notify the defendant.
On February 7th, the probation officer sent another letter to Weaver requesting to meet regarding the case, but that letter erroneously stated the court date had been rescheduled for March 20th instead of February 20th.
Oh, God, people.
On February 8th, his attorney also sent a letter with the correct court date, urgently requesting to meet with Weaver to discuss the case because he's like, I can't defend you if I don't have any information.
Yeah, like I'm going in blind if you don't meet with me.
He also tried to call several other people in an attempt to get a hold of Weaver, but was not able to reach him before the court date.
Well, I mean, he's off grid. Does he even have a?
I'm sure he doesn't have a phone. That's why he didn't leave a phone number.
Also, does he have a mailing address? Because he's off grid. He's probably miles into the woods.
Yeah, he probably has a P.O. box or something. Okay. I'm guessing that.
And he goes like once a month to check it when he goes into town.
That's my guess.
So like you can't send him something and thinking in 4 days he's going to get it. But he has a CB radio. You need one of those.
Yeah. Or like you got to go to his house.
Yeah.
When Randy Weaver did not show up for his court date on February 20th, because he didn't know that's when his court date was.
But it also means he didn't show up.
But he also didn't show up on February 19th. Yep.
If he had showed up on February 19th, I'd be like, that's fine. But he didn't because he didn't intend to.
But he was also told that it was on March 20th.
Okay.
So he has 3 different dates. Only one is correct. And he's getting.
And the bad thing is, you'd be surprised how often that shit actually happens.
U.S. District Court Judge Harold Ryan issued a bench warrant for failure to appear.
I think that's unfair. I don't like saying I'm Team Randy, but in this instance, I do not think he was in the wrong.
And at that time, I will say it was fair, but I'll tell you why right now.
Okay.
A few days after the missed court date, a local reporter, because he's following this case, contacted the U.S. Probation Office, remember these are federal charges, to ask if the erroneous information in the letter from the probation officer to Weaver was why he missed the court date. He's just looking for the scoop on his story.
Yeah, like fair question. I want to post an updated article.
Yeah, Weaver didn't show up for this federal case.
Why?
The chief probation officer went and pulled a copy of the letter and immediately contacted the judge's clerk, the U.S. Marshals, and Weaver's attorney to inform them of the scheduling error. So when the judge issued the bench warrant, he did not know that Weaver was provided an incorrect date.
Okay, so but as soon as they figured out, they're like, "Oh, we got a course correct."
Judge Ryan refused to withdraw the bench warrant,
Oh, no.
but the U.S. Marshals agreed to wait until March 20th to see if he would show up for court instead of attempting to execute the warrant beforehand, which is only fair.
Also, on appeal, that would get thrown
Mhm.
out.
The judge is like, go get him now. And the U.S. Marshals said, no, we don't think that's right.
Yeah. Because people who are there to enforce the law are allowed to not do things that are illegal.
Yeah.
Everyone think about that for a second.
The Department of Justice indicated that if Weaver did appear in court on March 20th, the warrant would be dropped. But
Okay, yeah.
but the U.S. Attorney's Office instead called a grand jury on March 14th.
You can't do that. What is this clusterfuck?
I know. And this is federal.
Like,
I know you're like in the one district of, I don't know how many districts there are over there, probably not very many. I'm guessing they had to come from like Spokane or something. But like, get your shit together.
Brittany would never.
Not a chance. They did not inform the grand jury of the letter sent to Weaver with the wrong date.
Didn't his attorney tell them?
It's a grand jury. You only hear if there's reason to file charges. There's no defense.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And Randy Weaver was indicted for failure to appear, even though it was 7 days before he was scheduled to appear.
And I anticipate that Randy is going to lose his goddamn shit. And maybe Randy deserves to lose his goddamn shit. And maybe they had it coming.
Randy Weaver's case was passed from the ATF to the U.S. Marshals Service, who are now responsible for arresting and bringing him in because he's now considered to be a fugitive.
I would be so mad.
Mm-hmm.
I would be yelling and screaming. There'd be TikToks going up left and right. I have a green screen so you can't tell where I am.
During the case transfer between the agencies, the ATF neglected to tell the U.S. Marshals that they previously tried to solicit him to become their informant. Nobody knows what anyone else is doing here.
No one's communicating.
Weaver.
They must have trained the Tampa police.
Weaver, who already had an intense distrust of the government, felt the miscommunication between the probation officer, the court, and his attorney was a conspiracy against him, and that he would not receive a fair trial.
I mean, I get where he thinks that.
Yeah, if you are already in that mind, that headspace,
this just reinforces that.
And you have all this other stuff going on where your neighbors are saying you're going to kill public figures, and you have to get ahead of it.
And he's living in an isolated environment where I'm sure this is like the primary focus of his day. So he's spending all day thinking about it, all day fixing on it. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy.
His suspicions grew even further when Everett Hoffmeister, his court-appointed attorney, told him that if he was convicted at trial, the Weaver family would lose their land, the children would be taken by the government, and his wife would be left homeless.
None of that would happen.
Nope.
Where did this attorney go to school?
I don't know.
Crackerjack University?
Boundary County Community College? I have no idea.
Yeah. Maybe he did it the same way that Kim Kardashian went to be an attorney.
Weaver decided to avoid arrest by staying in his remote cabin and advised that he would resist any attempts by the government to forcefully take him.
So now he's just like, I'm just going to stay in the woods.
In February 1991, the government began assembling a threat source profile on Randy Weaver to assess the issues that agents may potentially face when they try to serve him with a warrant and arrest him.
And like, you don't know if anything because he's just like, leave me alone.
I
can't believe you're making me defend.
I know.
This is awful.
From March 5th to October 12th, 1991, 6 months, 7 months, whatever it is, 7 months, government officials attempted to negotiate with Weaver via third parties as he continued to refuse to leave his cabin. Some of the go-betweens were identified by the government to be even more radical than the Weavers.
Okay.
A deputy marshal talked to Bill Grider, one of the intermediaries, and asked, he's like, why can't we just go up to his cabin and talk to him? And Grider replied, quote, "Let me put it to you this way. If I was sitting on my property and somebody with a gun comes to do me harm, then I'll probably shoot him," end quote.
Yeah.
And that's the mentality and the mindset that we have.
Yeah.
They're already moved to this off grid because of government
And you as big government who's
Mhm.
already made so many mistakes fucking him over, he does not trust you.
Mhm. The marshal's office then instructed that any negotiations must be held through Weaver's attorney, but Weaver refused to speak to him because he said,
I don't trust him.
Yeah.
Because he said you're going to take my land and my kids.
Mhm. Marshals then stopped negotiating and prepared to forcibly capture Randy Weaver.
They're going to end up like killing the kids and the wife. They got to not do that. So apparently I'm the only one with any goddamn common sense in this story.
On March 27th, 1992, Operation Northern Exposure was started.
Absolutely not.
Surveillance teams set up cameras facing the Weaver residence to record their activity. And I have a photo.
Okay.
2 photos. That's the surveillance. I mean, clearly everyone can see everyone else.
This couldn't be a drone, so they must have been like up
They're
on
in
the
the
hill
woods.
taking
Mhm.
pictures. But you can see there's a lady in a nightgown. I'm assuming that's his wife.
Yep, that's Vicky, his wife. And then that's his people walking around the property.
There's some guy in jorts. And then we have, I'm assuming that's Randy. And it looks like he could be holding a tennis racket, but I'm guessing that's not a tennis
Probably not a tennis racket. It's a pickleball racket.
Yeah, it's very rustic. Oh, and there's like 2 women over in the side here too.
I think those might be his daughters.
Okay. And okay, a dog. And a very impressive wood pile, I will say. Also, why isn't the wife like putting clothes on before she goes outside? She's in her negligee.
Which is like head to toe, full length
flannel. It's like one of those old like when Granny was in the bed with a big bad wolf.
Mhm.
That's the
Yep.
nightgown that's on.
The first thing the marshal's office noticed was that they first noticed that they were armed. Of course, we already knew that. And anytime someone came to the house, everybody rushed to grab firearms and move into defensive positions if they were approached, regardless of who it was. They're like,
Yeah.
we're going to do this first, and then if
We'll
it's
see what
someone
happens.
trustworthy, we'll let them in.
Yeah.
In April 1992, a helicopter hired by Geraldo Rivera for his show Now It Can Be Told
No.
flew over the Weaver property.
Fucking Geraldo Rivera.
U.S. Marshals received reports that the Weaver family fired shots at the helicopter, but Weaver, the U.S. Marshals in the area, and the co-pilot of the aircraft all denied that any shots were fired.
Yeah, because like, why would you shoot at a news helicopter? Also, how much money are they wasting on this stakeout? Because they couldn't put the effort in to get it right at the front end.
And this will be important later on, so tuck that behind your ear. Operation Northern Exposure was then suspended for about 3 months while a new director of the U.S. Marshal Service was having his Senate confirmation hearings. Clearly, this is not a national security issue because you wouldn't have suspended it because you're getting a new boss.
At the new boss should have been like, absolutely not. We're just going to reschedule all the hearings and we're going to do it right.
The work was resumed in early August 1992 after the new director gave permission to continue the operation.
Realistically, because everything's so fucked up, they should have thrown the charges out and just been like, if he's going to do something stupid, he'll do it again later.
Yeah, at this point,
like, you fucked everything up so
all
bad.
they have him on is possessing and making sawed-off shotguns.
Like you're wasting a lot of money.
He broke the law, but
that's like county jail time.
On August 21st, 1992, 6 marshals were sent to conduct recon and surveillance to determine the best location to apprehend Randy Weaver. While the marshals were scouting the area, the Weaver's dog Stryker was walking around the property. Marshal Art Roderick threw 2 rocks towards the cabin to test the dog's reactions. Stryker was intrigued and moved toward the sound in the woods. Randy Weaver, his 14-year-old son Samuel, who's up on the board, and their friend
14 there.
That's an older picture.
I
think he's like 9 there.
I was like, he looks like a young kid there.
And their friend Kevin Harris followed Stryker, hoping that he had caught or cornered some game because they were out of meat in the cabin.
Okay.
The dog came upon the hiding reconnaissance team, and Art Roderick shot him. The dog.
Oh, okay. I was like, the kid? Why would you shoot the? Okay, now you really lost me. You don't shoot the dog. I hope they went John Wick on him.
Samuel Weaver and Kevin Harris were right behind the dog, and Samuel yelled, quote, "You shot my dog, you son of a bitch," end quote, and he fired back towards the marshals.
Oh, yeah. That's what happens when you shoot somebody's dog.
Right, like literally right in front of them. More shots were fired from both sides, a total of 19 rounds. Kevin Harris shot and killed Deputy U.S. Marshal William Deegan Jr.
Okay.
Samuel.
Was he the one who shot the dog?
No, he was a different one.
Okay.
Samuel was running up a hill in retreat. He was shot in the back by Marshal Larry Cooper, killing him.
Okay.
Both sides retreated. Kevin Harris returned to the Weaver cabin and told Randy and Vicky about their son's death. They retrieved his body and put it in an outbuilding near the cabin.
So now the marshals killed a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really going to help the case.
A marshal is dead. A kid is dead. The dog is dead.
This is so fucked up. They need to pull back and stop. This is no.
In response to the shootings, the U.S. Marshals Crisis Center was activated and their Special Operations Group was deployed. The governor of Idaho declared a state of emergency in Boundary County, which allowed activation of the Idaho National Guard.
Oh, that's going to go well.
And the Idaho State Police arrived on scene. You have essentially every government law enforcement agency around this house now. The FBI.
And Randy's not really in the wrong.
Yeah.
I hate this. He's Looney Tunes.
I know. It's not illegal to be crazy.
No, it's not.
The FBI sent the hostage rescue team from Quantico, Virginia.
Which hostage?
I don't know.
Who are they holding hostage?
Nobody. Additional FBI and ATF agents arrived, and Special Agent in Charge Eugene Glenn of the FBI was made site commander. Hundreds of federal agents surrounded the Weaver home, and the following day, on August 12th, FBI headquarters drafted and approved a set of rules of engagement for use on Ruby Ridge.
Oh, God. I don't know if I want to know.
When creating the rules, the government cited both the 1985 letters to the Reagan administration, where they were like, hey, someone's going to tell you we did this and we didn't, and the 1992 shooting at Geraldo Rivera's helicopter as overt acts, and used those two things to justify these rules of engagement.
Is our current administration like taking pages out of this playbook for what we're currently encountering?
Feels like it.
Is Pete Hegseth related?
Is Pete there?
Is he related to one of these people? Is one of these people his grandpa or something?
And I have the rules of engagement.
Oh, good.
1. If any adult in the area around the cabin is observed with a weapon after the surrender announcement has been made, deadly force could and should be used to neutralize the individual.
But you're thinking they're going to surrender.
Yeah. And they're saying, we're going to read over a bullhorn, surrender now, or we will shoot on sight, basically.
Oh, so the overt threats.
Yep.
Okay. Got
2.
it.
If any adult male is observed with a weapon prior to the surrender announcement, deadly force can and should be employed if the shot can be taken without endangering any children.
Oh, now the children are important.
Yes. And so they're not even anytime. If you see an adult male with a gun, shoot him. It doesn't matter if he's just walking around.
I'm going to make these my rules of engagement when I'm walking down here on Saturday.
3. If compromised by any dog, the dog can be taken out.
Monsters.
After they already killed the dog. And 4. Any subjects other than Randy Weaver, Vicky Weaver, Kevin Harris presenting threat of death or grievous bodily harm, FBI rules of deadly force apply. Deadly force can be utilized to prevent the death or grievous bodily injury of oneself or that of another. Any 3 of these adults, if they're making any threats, shoot them.
So basically just mow everybody down.
It doesn't matter what they're doing, shoot them.
So they're just going like full nom on them. Okay.
Mind you, aside from Randy Weaver hasn't fired a shot at anybody.
Well, and he has a sawed-off shotgun. It's not even going to go that far.
The rules of engagement were communicated to personnel on scene, but different agents interpreted them differently. particularly the snipers who believed them to be a, quote, green light to shoot on sight, end quote.
So, like, there wasn't like a full.
They didn't have like a team meeting where they went over them.
Yeah, like not everyone sits together in the same room and you go over it. Okay.
Many other agents felt the modified rules were inappropriate. Thank goodness someone is like, no.
Like, hey, this seems a little extreme.
And felt it was contradictory to the FBI's deadly force policy at the time, which reads, agents are not to use deadly force against any person except as necessary in self-defense or defense of another when they have reason to believe that they or another are in danger of death or grievous bodily harm. Whenever feasible, verbal warnings should be given before deadly force is applied.
Yeah, give someone a chance to not get shot.
Yeah. You can't just shoot somebody because they walked outside with a gun.
No.
The same day the rules of engagement were implemented, but before the hostage team arrived from Quantico, Randy Weaver was shot while entering the outbuilding where his son's dead body lay.
He wasn't even armed.
Nope. The sniper.
So that's murder.
The sniper, Lon Horiuchi.
Oh no, Lon. This is not going the way I thought it would.
Was aiming for his spine, but Weaver moved at the last second and was shot in the armpit. So he's a bad shot also. Weaver, his 16-year-old daughter, and Kevin Harris ran back to the main cabin. The sniper fired a second shot into the open door of the cabin.
You can't do that. You don't know who you're hitting.
The bullet first hit Vicki Weaver, who was standing behind the cabin door, in the head, killing her instantly. The same bullet also wounded Kevin Harris. Vicki Weaver was holding her 10-month daughter when she was killed.
Lon, you're a monster. I hope that he lost his job after that.
I'm going to tell you right now he didn't, because he was the sniper at something that happened about 6 months after this. You might have heard of it. It was called Waco.
Fucking Lon. Was he a bad shot there too?
I think so. A memo written by FBI Assistant Deputy Director Danny Colson on August 24th, 1992, the fourth day of the siege. But at that time, he did not yet know that Vicki Weaver had been killed. His memo read, something to consider. 1. Charges against Weaver are bullshit. 2. No one saw Weaver do any shooting. 3. Vicki has no charges against her. And 4. Weaver's defense. He ran down the hill to see what a dog was barking at. Some guy in camis shot his dog, started shooting at him, killed his son. Harris did the shooting. He's in a pretty strong legal position.
Yeah, because you don't know who's shooting at you. And are they on his property, so they're technically trespassing? Okay.
Efforts.
Does Idaho have a stand your ground law?
Probably not back then. I think that's more recent, but they own 20 acres. And I doubt their cabin was on the edge of that 20 acres.
No, like you were on their property trespassing.
Efforts to negotiate with Weaver through a bullhorn over the following days were unsuccessful, as there was no response from inside the cabin.
Because they're all dead.
The hostage team director ultimately gave negotiator Bo Gritz a deadline for the surrender of the remaining occupants, warning that failure to do so would result in a tactical assault on the cabin. So come out or we're going to blow you up.
Also, like,
there's innocent children in there.
That's also a lot of pressure for the negotiator. Who is he negotiating hostages with? There are no hostages in there.
Yeah.
You're who they're afraid of.
Yeah, you are holding them hostage. The next day, August 30th.
I feel like I'm at work right now.
Weaver and his daughters surrendered.
Okay.
Bo Gritz also negotiated the surrender of the wounded Kevin Harris. Because remember, he got shot in the armpit.
Okay, yep. But Randy's dead.
Randy's still alive.
Okay.
Yeah, Randy and Kevin are alive. Vicky's dead.
Okay.
And Samuel is dead.
Okay.
Earlier, Harris had reportedly asked Weaver to end his life as an act of mercy. So he was in bad shape.
Okay.
After the surrender, Harris was evacuated by stretcher and transported for medical treatment, while Weaver also consented to the removal of Vicki Weaver's body from the cabin. Randy Weaver was transported to a hospital for an evaluation and then was sent to the Ada County Jail. And I have a picture of them coming down off the mountain. Randy Weaver's holding his daughter, one of his daughters, in his arms, and he's got his other kids kind of around him.
And holding somebody's hand?
The negotiator is there too.
All these guys look like a-holes.
Randy Weaver was arraigned in federal court on September 1st, 1992, and he was, of course, charged with multiple offenses.
What about the people who shot everybody? Are they being charged?
His federal trial began in April 1993. By mid-June, the defense rested after calling 0 witnesses. The strategy involved discrediting witnesses and evidence for the prosecution during cross-examination, which is really...
I mean, I feel like you have a strong legal leg to stand on if you give it the littlest bit of effort.
Mhm. What do you think the outcome of this trial was?
I think they found him guilty and sentenced him to life in federal prison.
Randy Weaver was acquitted of all charges
Good.
except the initial charge of missing his court date, which he didn't fucking know about,
Yeah.
and the charge of violating his bail conditions, which is fair.
Okay, yeah. But would he have violated his bail conditions if you hadn't shot at him?
Probably not. I'm assuming his bail conditions were that you can't possess or own any firearms,
Well,
and that was pretty blatantly...
Also, maybe the police need to go and collect them
Mhm.
when they know that he's on probation pending
Mhm.
arraignment and all that stuff.
He was sentenced to 18 months plus a $10,000 fine, but with his credit for time served and for good behavior, he spent less than 16 months in jail.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Harris was also acquitted on all charges. Exactly 5 years after the Ruby Ridge incident...
I hope he sued them because he got shot.
Exactly 5 years after the Ruby Ridge incident, the Boundary County prosecutor tried to indict him on first-degree murder charges for the death of Marshal Bill Deegan.
Absolutely not.
He was already acquitted on the same charge in federal court. That's
jeopardy.
double jeopardy.
You
It was
can't do
dismissed.
that.
Yeah. And I have in here, duh.
Also, shouldn't the attorney know that?
You would think. During both men's trials, their defense attorneys alleged serious misconduct by the government agents and agencies involved. The DOJ went on to create the Ruby Ridge Task Force to investigate, and in 1994, they released a 542-page report with their findings. The report and later Senate subcommittee hearings that investigated both Ruby Ridge and Waco were both very critical of the government's rules of engagement adopted for both incidents, citing them as being unconstitutional.
Yeah.
You don't say.
Yes.
The subcommittee also criticized the marshal's threat profile of Randy Weaver, stating, quote, as marshals investigating the Weaver case learned facts that contradicted information they previously had been provided, they did not adequately integrate their updated knowledge into their overall assessment of who Randy Weaver was or what threat he might pose, and, quote, a brief psychological profile completed by a person who had conducted no firsthand interviews and was so unfamiliar with the case that he referred to Weaver as Mr. Randall throughout, end quote. You can't operate a threat profile
on someone you've never
that you're
met.
using to essentially allege charges on someone that you're intentionally not updating. So when you found out he didn't shoot at Geraldo Rivera's helicopter, you just left that in.
Yeah. Well, and so this all went sideways to start when, like, the court person was sending out letters that were wrong. But I think the fault really lies with the first judge who refused to pull back the bench warrant after he found that out. Because that would have stopped the series of events.
Convening a grand jury to indict him on charges a week before the alleged new scheduling day.
Yeah. That is unacceptable. Brittany would never.
A DOJ memo also stated, quote, the assumptions of federal and some state and local law enforcement personnel about Weaver, that he was a Green Beret, that he would shoot on sight anyone who attempted to arrest him, and that he had collected certain types of arms, that he had booby-trapped and tunneled his property, exaggerated the threat he posed. He was never a Green Beret. That is information that is readily available to everybody.
And also, even if he wasn't wrong to do all those things. There was somebody out to get him.
Yeah. The government's actions at Ruby Ridge and Waco, which occurred about 6 months later, were both cited by Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols as primary drivers behind their bombings in Oklahoma City in 1995.
Oh, so they made other people follow up to right the wrongs. They went and John Wicked for him.
Yeah, just kind of in the wrong way because they killed tons of innocent people. Randy Weaver and his daughters filed a $200 million wrongful death suit against the government for the deaths of Vicki Weaver and Samuel Weaver.
Good.
The government settled, paying Randy $100,000 and $1 million to each of his 3 daughters, so $3.1 million.
I mean, it was like the early mid 90s, so that was a lot more money than
Mhm.
it is now. But I don't think it's really an adequate sum for the trauma that
No.
was experienced.
The government did not admit any wrongdoing, as they do.
I'm also willing to bet they probably denied him Medicaid so they couldn't get mental health
Oh,
treatment.
sure. Keith Harris also filed a civil suit for damages, and the government stated they would never pay somebody who killed a U.S. Marshal.
You don't get a choice if you lose.
He was later awarded $380,000. In 1997, the Boundary County prosecutor, the same one who tried to charge Keith Harris with double jeopardy, indicted Lon Horiuchi, the sniper who killed Vicki Weaver, on manslaughter charges, but they were dismissed on grounds of governmental immunity because the sniper was acting in the line of duty.
No, he wasn't. He was in the line of duty, but he wasn't acting in accordance with how he
Mhm.
should have been acting.
The Weaver family later moved to Montana. Randy Weaver died on May 11th, 2022 at age 74.
Looking up Lon
Horiuchi. And that photo, that's the only photo I could find. He was a West Point graduate. So that's his West Point graduation photo.
Let's see where he is now. It doesn't say.
Yeah, there's not much about him.
Well, I mean, it would make sense.
Other than I do know he was also at Waco because he was on the special response team.
I mean, it would make sense that he kind of went underground after that.
I'm no fan of Randy Weaver's. I don't think you should be making and selling sawed-off shotguns or attending Aryan Nation meetings. However, every single one of his constitutional rights were trampled on by the government, and people died because of it.
Hold on, I think I found something. So where is Lon Horiuchi now? Blah, 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 blah. Nope, that's not what I want. Stop giving me pop-ups. So he retired in October 2006 as an FBI program manager.
Oh, he got pushed to pencil pushing duty.
Yep, and contracting officer's technical representative. One of his lawyers stated he's very private and extremely protective of his family.
Oh, must be nice.
We've determined to let him get on with his life. At least he has one to get on with. Lon, now 69, a father of 6, and a politically conservative Catholic, is presumed to be living with his family in Hawaii.
Yeah, I knew overall this whole story. I
have never heard of this.
Yeah.
This is lunacy.
I watched a documentary or like maybe a miniseries or something.
There's a miniseries.
Dramatized miniseries. So I knew, but even in the miniseries, I don't think they stressed how bad the government fucked up in every single step here.
Yeah.
All you had to do was wait till March 20th.
Yeah.
If he didn't show up, you go arrest him.
6 more days.
Mhm.
You just had to wait 6 days. And then you would have been in the right if he didn't show up.
Yes. Yeah. Then you
have a legal leg to stand on. Actually, a moral and ethical leg to stand on, which I think is maybe a little more important when you're going in guns a-blazing.
Yeah. And during all of this, all you had to do was say, this really isn't worth it. All these millions of dollars of resources.
No. You wasted so much money on this because it became a pissing contest because you didn't
You
want
had something to prove.
You didn't want someone to tell you no.
Yeah. And you just wait because you know he's going to fuck up again. And then you pick him up then.
Yeah. Because, like, if someone, like, came to my house and shot one of my dogs, I mean, unless it was Molly, then I'd be like, whatever.
Justice for Molly.
But if it was Percy, heads would roll.
The government incompetence and bravado and it's really hubris here.
Hubris and ego. Like, I'm not going to let this hillbilly show me up.
And he told him, he's like, I'm not coming out.
No.
And then...
And they're like, oh, we'll just kill your entire family.
Yeah. Even though they're walking around and really we shot first as the government.
I'd be curious to know, like, between how much it took to do this entire thing,
Mhm.
plus all the lawsuits. So the cost of having the lawsuits and then paying out
Yeah, so
when
they
you
have
lost.
almost $3.5 million that they
Just
paid out in lawsuits, never mind any of the expense for the entire ordeal.
and like having lawsuits isn't free.
No.
Everyone has to be paid
Mhm.
for that.
Versus what were you gonna fine him? $10,000
Yeah.
or something like that?
Like it doesn't make financial sense.
The 9 months in federal prison he would have served?
No.
No.
Everybody in this story is stupid.
Mhm.
Every single one.
Yep.
I do not like any of them.
Yeah, the more I read it, because it was always like, "Oh, Randy Weaver's neo-Nazi, anti-gov," and, like, he was.
But he ends up being the hero of the goddamn story.
Kinda, yeah.
You're the worst, Kyla.
That's Ruby Ridge. The more I read about it, I was like, "Wait a minute, am I team Randy a little bit
I
here?"
know. Like I was like pretty soon like, oh
Mhm.
no.
Mhm.
You made me go and root for the neo-Nazi. I don't like this at all.
And, people are entitled to their beliefs, and from what I could see, he wasn't
He wasn't doing any harm.
doing any harm, like
He's just minding his
Mhm.
business.
Yeah, I don't think he
He's
was going around lynching people or
No,
anything
he's
like
just
that.
weird.
Yeah.
But
And
he's not doing
You're
anything.
allowed to go to compounds, and you're allowed to own guns, and
Yeah, and if someone hadn't baited him into selling sawed-off shotguns, would he have sold one?
Mhm. Yeah.
He thought you were his friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm sure if I went to Kyla and said, "Hey, Kyla, do you have any sawed-off shotguns I can borrow?"
He was like, can you come back tomorrow? I have to run to Walmart really quick."
Like, yeah, I'll be back. I'll be by after work.
There you go, Ruby Ridge.
Boo.
It's bonkers.
Don't like it. Well, we will take a brief hiatus. For these people, the story's over. For
Yep.
us, it's a brief hiatus.
Yeah, we'll be back on the 4th of July, which is 1 hour from now for us. Not really.
Nope. It'll be a few minutes. I'm going to get a different wine, and I'm going to figure out how to tie this to the 4th of July. You just got to give me a second.
Okay.
To the next pour and the next plot twist.